I want to start with a truth that might shock you. Most of your suffering, your overthinking, your self-doubt, your fear of disappointing people isn't coming from what's wrong with you. It's coming from what you learned too well. And the strange thing is, the human mind doesn't cling most tightly to what helps it. It clings most tightly to what once kept it safe. So if you feel stuck, trapped, or constantly fighting the same emotional battles over and over again, it's not because you're broken. It's because you're loyal to mental patterns that no longer protect you. Today, I'm counting down the 10 things you must unlearn to finally be happy. 10 invisible rules you absorbed long before you ever had the chance to question them. And when we reach number 1, you'll understand something so deeply liberating that it changes the way you see your entire life and your power to shape it. Let's begin. Number 10. Unlearn the belief that you must earn your worth. Somewhere along the line, you learned that love was conditional. Maybe it sounded like, be a good kid and then I'll be proud of you. Or don't make mistakes if you want approval. Or maybe it wasn't even spoken. Maybe it was in the way people's faces tightened when you disappointed them, or the silence you got when you were hurting and needed comfort. The mind of a child absorbs these moments like commandments. I must achieve to be accepted. I must be perfect to be safe. I must earn my place in the world. But here's the truth no one told you. Worthiness is not a reward. It's a starting point. You were born with worth baked into your existence. Nothing you do can add to it. Nothing you fail at can subtract from it. People think striving will make them happy, but striving from fear is a cage. Achieving from security is freedom. And here's the twist most people miss. When you stop chasing worthiness, you start achieving more, not less. Because you're no longer dragging shame behind you. If this one hits hard, just wait. Each rule goes deeper. And the next one explains why you've been carrying other people's emotions like they're your responsibility. Number 9, unlearn the idea that you are responsible for everyone's feelings. Some of you became emotional translators before you even knew your own alphabet. You learned to scan the room before you spoke. You learned to shrink your needs so others could breathe more comfortably. You learned to say it's fine, even when it wasn't fine at all. This usually comes from growing up around unpredictable people, parents who were stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, or emotionally inconsistent. When children sense emotional instability, they try to become the stabilizer. It's instinct, not choice. But here's the deep psychological truth. You cannot make another person feel anything. Their emotions come from their own histories, expectations, and wounds. You can be kind. You can be honest. You can be responsible for your actions. But you cannot manage someone else's inner world. Trying to is like trying to hold back the tide with your hands. And the moment you release this old pattern, your body feels something it hasn't in years: space. But if you think letting go of other people's feelings is hard, the next one is about the quiet war you've probably been fighting with yourself for years. Number 8, unlearn the belief that thinking harder leads to clarity. Overthinking feels productive, doesn't it? Like if you just replay the conversation enough times, you'll finally understand what went wrong. Or if you plan for every possible scenario, you'll finally feel safe. But overthinking isn't a search for answers. It's a search for control. The mind uses worry the way a child uses a blanket, something to hold on to in the dark. But the neuroscience is clear. When your brain is in a state of fear, it can't access high-level reasoning, emotional intelligence, or creativity. You can't think your way out of anxiety, because the thinking is fueling the anxiety. Clarity comes not from thinking more, but from feeling more grounded. From breathing, slowing down, stepping back, letting your nervous system settle so your wisdom, not your fear, can speak. Your mind is loud when you're scared. Your intuition is loud when you're calm. And what you're about to hear next will challenge one of the deepest emotional beliefs you've ever held. Number 7, unlearn the idea that suffering is noble. So many of us absorb this idea quietly and unconsciously, that pain somehow proves we're strong, that self-sacrifice makes us worthy, that struggling earns respect. Maybe you had parents who never rested, or a culture that glorified endurance. Or you grew up seeing people worn down and called heroes for never asking for help. But pain is not proof of goodness. Exhaustion is not evidence of virtue. Your struggle is not a badge of honor you're required to wear. This belief traps people for decades. It leads to burnout, people-pleasing, emotional suppression, and relationships where giving is never matched with receiving. The real truth is simple. Healing requires rest. Growth requires support. Happiness requires allowing ease. Strength is not how much weight you can carry. Strength is knowing when to set it down. We're approaching the midpoint, and I want to ask you something important. Which of these patterns is holding you back the most right now? Tell me the number in the comments. I'm here to read your story. And now, we're stepping into some of the most deeply rooted patterns in human psychology. The ones people rarely see in themselves until someone names them. Number 6, unlearn the belief that your past predicts your future. Your brain is a prediction machine. Its number one mission is survival, not happiness. So it looks at your past and says, those old patterns kept you alive. Repeat them. This is why people stay in familiar pain. Why they repeat the same relationship dynamics. Why they sabotage success just before it arrives. Why they mistake predictability for safety. But your past is not a prophecy. It's a pattern, and patterns can be changed. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity. Human language calls it growth. Spiritual traditions call it rebirth. The moment you stop assuming your history is your destiny, you break a psychological spell that has been running your life on autopilot. And now we go deeper. Number 5, unlearn the belief that avoiding discomfort keeps you safe. Most of the emotional pain you experience doesn't come from discomfort itself. It comes from the resistance to discomfort. Avoiding the conversation feels easier than having it. Avoiding the dream feels safer than risking failure. Avoiding the truth feels more manageable than facing it. But discomfort is not danger. It's instruction. You grow muscles by creating micro-tears that heal back stronger. You grow emotionally by leaning into moments that stretch you. CBT teaches that exposure, not avoidance, rewires fear. Your mind learns courage only by experiencing manageable amounts of discomfort and realizing, I survived this. I'm capable. I'm stronger than my fear estimated. Avoiding discomfort is how you stay small. Walking through it is how you become yourself. And that brings us to a truth almost everyone misunderstands. Number 4, unlearn the belief that your emotions are problems. Emotions are not obstacles. They are messengers, signals, indicators of the stories you're carrying inside you. Anger says a boundary was crossed. Sadness says something mattered. Fear says something feels uncertain. Loneliness says you're disconnected from what's meaningful. The reason people feel overwhelmed by emotions isn't because emotions are too big, it's because no one taught them how to feel them. Emotional intelligence isn't the absence of emotion. It's the ability to understand emotion's purpose. Imagine if you stopped treating your emotions like enemies and started treating them like guides. What truths would they reveal? Because the next belief is the one that keeps people stuck in cycles of approval-seeking and quiet self-abandonment. Number 3, unlearn the belief that you must be who others expect you to be. Every person you've ever met has a version of you in their mind. Your parents, your friends, your co-workers, your partner, even strangers who barely know you. And for years, you may have shaped yourself to fit those images. The responsible one, the funny one, the calm one, the strong one, the fixer, the achiever, the one who doesn't cause trouble, the one who always figures it out. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Every time you choose who you should be over who you truly are, you abandon yourself a little more. And that quiet abandonment compounds over time. It becomes numbness. It becomes depression. It becomes that vague sense of not knowing who you truly are. Authenticity is not becoming something new. It is remembering who you were before the world taught you to forget. And now we arrive at the final two, the most foundational, the most painful and the most liberating truths of all. Number 2, unlearn the belief that love must be earned through suffering. Many of us learned love through inconsistency. We learned affection came after achievement. Kindness came after compliance. Warmth came only when we were easy, quiet, or convenient. So on a subconscious level, we began to associate love with effort, with proving, with sacrificing, with never being too much. This is why people tolerate relationships that drain them, why they stay loyal to partners who don't show up, why they believe real love must hurt. But real love, healthy love, does not make you shrink. It makes you safer to expand. Love is not something you perform for. It is something you receive when you are being your truest self. When you unlearn this belief, you stop chasing people who cannot see you. You stop bargaining for crumbs. You stop mistaking intensity for intimacy. And then you become available for a kind of love that feels like rest. But none of these truths compare to the final one. The one that, if you internalize it, will change the entire architecture of your inner world. Get ready. Number 1, unlearn the belief that you are powerless to change your life. This is the deepest wound in the human psyche, the belief that we are stuck with who we are, stuck with the pain we inherited, stuck with the patterns we absorbed, stuck with the stories we didn't choose. But here is the truth I want to imprint on your heart. You are not a fixed identity. You are a living process. Your brain rewires based on what you practice. Your emotions shift based on what you allow. Your beliefs evolve based on what you question. Your life changes based on what you choose to unlearn. You are not the past. You are the path. You are not the wound. You are the one healing it. You are not the patterns. You are the awareness noticing them. And awareness is the beginning of freedom. There's a moment in everyone's life, a single moment, where they realize the prison door was never locked. They were just afraid to push it open. Maybe this is that moment for you. So let me ask you, what would become possible if you stopped assuming you're powerless? What version of you is waiting on the other side of that belief? And tell me in the comments, which number hit you the hardest? If this message reminded you that the blueprint for your freedom is already inside you, share it with one person who you know is still searching for their truth. And if you want more videos like this, subscribe. Because every day I'll be right here, helping you build a life based on radical honesty, deep wisdom, and unbreakable self-respect. Your happiness is not ahead of you. It is within you. And you are finally remembering the way back home.